Hello YouTube, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you yet another awesome video. And if you can't already tell by the title or the thumbnail, I'm talking about Naruto. Yeah, I know I promised in my last video about Naruto last year that I wouldn't really make something for this particular manga series, and that I wish that Kishimoto would get taken out into a field and jolly stomped by a bunch of skinheads wearing combat boots while listening to Barry Manilow in the background, but nonetheless, I decided to give at least one more try. And with the recent release of the Boruto movie, which focuses on his son, who me and several other people have stick to naming Burrito for obvious reasons, for the movie they also released a one-shot manga, which by the premise alone would have gotten you into it. The synopsis of the book is basically Naruto's inauguration as the 7th Hokage, because after the war, Kakashi was chosen as the 6th Hokage to succeed Tsunade. Now, this is something that a lot of fans would have wanted to see. I myself would have loved to see it, even with the shitty way that Kishimoto and SP have pretty much retconned the entire series so much. You might have think that the entire series was based in DC. For those of you who are comic book fans, you would know what that means. But basically, this one shot reaffirms my stance on Naruto and why I don't think too highly of it. And by think too highly of it, I mean I think it's shit now. Now, this could be my lack of sleep or the fact that I've had a migraine headache for the last couple of days, but alright, basic synopsis is this. It's Naruto's inauguration. He's married with kids to Hinata, aka the big titty doormat, and his sons Burrito and his younger 5-year-old daughter Hinamawa, or as a lot of people call her, Swiffer Sweeper, because her hair looks like a Swiffer Sweeper. But anyway, it's his inauguration, and he's sleeping late. So Hinata, being the attentive wife that she is, can't bother to wake her husband up on the most important day of his life, outside of their wedding, and asks her kids to wake him up. This leads to a whole bunch of shenanigans with his kids trying to wake up their father. Now, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. I'm not even going to bother telling you much about it. It's on the internet. You can look it up. I don't think you really should, but needless to say, Swiffer Sweeper, 5-year-old girl, somehow awakens to the Byakugan, which is something you can't really awaken to because, according to the mythos, the Byakugan is always active from the moment you were born. You can't just awaken it like you can a Sharingan. But yeah, needless to say, it comes down to, it basically is Naruto's kids being arrogant little spoiled brats, and Naruto being unable to control them. And in the end, Naruto misses his inauguration. Why? Because his 5-year-old daughter kicks his ass. I am not even joking. Hinata comes home and finds Naruto collapsed on the floor. And she sees her Byakugan and looks through her Byakugan and notices all his chakra points have been fucked up, meaning that his daughter used the gentle fist technique and just beat the shit out of him. And then, at the inauguration, Naruto is nowhere to be found. So Kakashi's like, hey, Naruto's late. He's gonna miss the ceremony. Konohamaru, transform into Naruto so we can complete the ceremony. Alright, so let me see if I get this right. So basically, the thing that Naruto has been one of his 3 main driving points throughout the entire manga, one being bringing Sasuke back to the village, the other chasing after Sakura, and the third being, of course, becoming Hokage, is treated for laughs. Now, I've checked out the Kiss Manga comment section, and everybody's gushing about it. Like, oh, that's so cute. Look at them. They're just, oh, the Naruto's family is just so awesome. And Hinata's the greatest wife ever. And this is just a hilarious little bit, brilliant writing from Kishimoto. I can tell you that these are not true fans of the series. Because if they were, they would probably shit on this. Why? For the main reason is that Naruto missed being inaugurated as the 7th Hokage. If you're a fan of the series, you know that this has been Naruto's dream. It has been his driving point. He says he's going to become Hokage. He tells everyone he's going to become Hokage. This is an important part of his life, if not the most important part of his life. He has trained and worked his ass off. He has shed blood, sweat, and tears for this one dream. And in the moment that it actually comes, he misses it for some dumbass comedy. This pissed me off more than it really should. I thought this was some redeeming quality that would have at least gotten back to the Naruto that it was before those disastrous final chapters, but no. I can't even say this is funny because I've read funny manga. I've laughed out loud to funny manga. I have, and you're gonna say, oh, you're just a One Piece fanboy. Yeah, I love One Piece, but there are a lot of mangas out there that I find that are very funny or that are comedy based, and particularly one that still makes me chuckle to this day because of the whole context of it. I will get to that in probably another video. But the point is this: Naruto's entire thing is that he wants to become Hokage. But in the ceremony, not only does he oversleep, but his wife doesn't seem to want to bother waking him up for this event. And he spends more time trying to placate his bratty ass kids than actually going to do his job, to actually accept the job and the position that he has been working his ass off for the entirety of his life. But no, they're just going to treat it as a joke. He doesn't even do it. It's just a clone. There's just so much wrong with this one shot. Not just the fact that Naruto missed his entire inauguration, but it also deals with the fact of his family life. People say it's a cute family. It's not. Naruto and Hinata barely share any lines together or any scenes. When he does talk about Hinata, he just refers to her as Hinata. There's no cute little suffixes or honorifics that he will give to that, not like with Sakura. With Sakura, he always says Sakura-chan, which is if you don't know your Japanese, I'm not saying I do, I just know some bits and pieces. You add the word chan, the suffix behind the person's name, as a term of endearment. It is something you are for a person who you are very familiar with. Chan, and particularly for a female or anyone with feminine qualities, for someone who just, like, take for One Piece, for example. In the original, Bon Clay calls Luffy Mugi-chan, or Straw Hat-chan, or Luffy-chan. That means they are friends. And Luffy counters that by saying Bon-chan. That means the two of them are close. They are friends. They are close friends. You don't say Chan just to anyone else. You only say that for people who are close to you. And Naruto did that for Sakura for the entirety of their run. He never did that for Hinata, even now. And what's worse is the kids. The bratty ass kids. This just goes to show you that this is a terrible, terrible family. That the kids can just... And Burrito screams at his mother and tells her off. And she just rolls that off like... This was Sakura. She would not only have woken Naruto's ass up, she would have punched him awake, told him to get his ass in gear, and he would thank her for it, because I'm not saying it's an abusive relationship, because the abuse that Sakura hands out to Naruto is because when he acts stupid or perverted. It's a way to straighten him out, to keep him from going too far. That's why I enjoy Naruto and Sakura together, because they're balancing act. Naruto would have wanted Sakura to be the best that she could be, and not just hound after somebody else like Sasuke. And Sakura would keep Naruto in line, unlike in the manga proper, where Naruto eats so much ramen that he's apparently out of shape. No, Sakura wouldn't go for that shit. She'd sit him down, make sure he ate more than just ramen. But no, Hinata's just a doormat who just lets him have his way. And then she goes to extends to their kids. Their kids are brats, and it's bad enough that his 5-year-old daughter beats the crap out of him. Keep in mind, this is Naruto at the end of the manga, where he has bits and pieces of he is basically one half of the Ninja Jesus. Why is that? Why is it that his daughter can beat his ass? And there's people out there saying that Hinata, that Himawara, or whatever her name is, I just call her Super Sweeper. Super Sweeper is going to be this series Gohan. Hold on. Recording. Oh. Sorry about that. That was my mom. But anyway, people saying that Hinata, that Super Sweeper is going to be Gohan. No. Unlike Super Sweeper, Gohan actually has character. So the comparison is not there. The comparison is that she's just a Tsunade. She's just a brat who beat the crap out of her father, the man who saved the world, because her brother messed with her teddy bear. What kind of shit is that? Now, Gohan, on the other hand, was a sweet, kind young man who didn't particularly like fighting, but fought for the greater good. And he had the power to do so. And he was always scared of his power. The only ever times he ever been vicious or mean-spirited is when he beat the shit out of Cell and when he beat the shit out of Majin Buu after he killed basically all of humanity. But yeah, this is... but the comparison is terrible, and all those who do it should be ashamed of themselves. Now, before any of you haters out there say that I'm just doing this because I'm a Narusaku fan and I didn't get my way. No, I'm not saying this because I'm a Narusaku fan. In fact, I'm going to go an extra mile and say I'm glad that Naruto and Sakura didn't hook up together. I'm glad they didn't. Because why? Because the writing is so terrible nowadays that Kishimoto would find a way to fuck it up. But nope. The only people, but the people who often say that this series is great is only either they're pairing whores or they're Naruhina whores, and they're happy because they got what they wanted. Naruto got with the big titty doormat, and now and he looks miserable because of it. Not to mention all the plot holes this one particularly does. I'm not even going to get into that. That could be a whole separate video in and of itself. But this whole thing just reaffirms my idea that there is Naruto as a franchise is nothing but a corpse. It is the Walking Dead of manga. And people, you can like it if you want. But don't sit there and say it's a masterpiece of manga storytelling. It's not. I've seen better from Shonen Jump. I read better on a weekly basis. I read at least 20 different mangas every week. From Shigeki no Soma, Noblesse, Naya Sweet Guy, Untouchable, Toriko, One Piece of course, Bleach if I can still follow it, Fairy Tail, Until Death Do Us Part, Pieces of the Worst Crow series. I want to do a video on that because that is a fantastic series. What else? There's one about a young kid who wants to be a sumo wrestler. That's awesome. Baby Steps, an amazing tennis manga. What else? iShield 21. I still reread that because I like it so much. The Full Metal Alchemist manga. Great little shit. Read that shit. What else? The Breaker New Waves. God of High School. I could literally go on and on. There are so many manga that I read. I barely have time to keep up with it, and there's very few times that I quit a manga. But this right here, Naruto was an average story that had some good ideas, but then fucked it up in the end. And that's why personally, not as a Naruto, as a pairing whore, but as a reader and a writer of both fan fiction and my own book, I cannot for the life of me recommend Naruto to anyone. I can recommend a lot of series. I can recommend Toriko. I can recommend Shingeki no Soma. I can recommend the Worst Crow series. If you haven't read Worst or Crows, watch that shit. I can recommend Ushio and Tora. It's Inuyasha, but better. But I cannot for the life of me recommend Naruto to anyone just getting into manga or who want to see what all the fuss is about. See, Naruto starts good, then it just goes down in the crapper. So for that reason, I can't recommend it. But for this one shot, you can read it if you want, if you haven't already. If you read it, just don't prepare for any kind of dignity on Naruto's part. He is just put to the side because it's time for the new generation. This entire chapter, this entire one-shot is basically an introduction to introduce the next generation and make the older generation look like shitheads and assholes. Naruto's entire dream has been flushed down the toilet to make way for the new characters. Typical franchise thinking. It just is so terrible. I'm not even going to post a link so that you can read it. That is dreck beyond dreck. So anyway, that's my video. You like what you see? Like, comment, subscribe below. Got any questions, comments, or just want to vent about how terrible Naruto has gotten over in this past year? Leave below. I'll try to get back to you. You want to support the channel? Hitting that like button helps, as does hitting one of these advertisements surrounding the video. And also, do like someone else did. It's up there. If they drop something in the bucket, I can get a burrito now. That doesn't mean that you can do it too. It doesn't take that much. Just $1. But anyway, that's my video. So until next time, it's been shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, saying good day. And what else was I expecting for but stupidity?